Okay, so hello guys, I'm Isabella. I'm from Brazil. Um, I'm gonna start this with our geography. Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world, and it's also the fifth most populous country in the world. I put here this map that shows how big Brazil is, because I didn't think it was that big, but
Wow.
like how many countries fit inside of the Brazilian map. I think it's pretty interesting.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's actually larger than the continental United States.
Mm, yeah.
Just about. I guess you could kind of push that one little leg over there, but
Yeah, I think it's almost nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Brazil shares border with almost every country in South America, but Ecuador and Chile, which I think that's really interesting too. Yeah, look how big that is. Um, Here, Brazil is divided in five regions: the north, the northeast, the south, southeast, and the central west. I put some pictures of each region. I don't know if this, yeah. Um, North, it's over there. I can't, I don't know why it's not letting me show with my mouse, but north of Brazil, it's more um, Amazonia, and it's the rainforest. It's just incredible, like nature wise. The northeast, there are so many beaches, and it's really gorgeous too. It's really hot up there. I live in the southeast, where Rio is, but I'm from São Paulo, and southeast is not as hot as up there, but it never gets below 32, at least in my state. Yeah, yeah, in southeast it doesn't get below 32, but in south sometimes even snows, which it's pretty interesting. It's very rare, but it does snow. Central west is it's also a lot of nature, and it's gorgeous. I've never been there, but I after doing this I just really want to travel my country more.
So in the South, the architecture looks very Scandinavian.
Yes. So in the south, Brazil Brazil was colonized by Portuguese, but it was invaded by many European countries. So, especially in the south, there's a really strong influence of German and Netherlands and Portuguese. So it's very European like. Even the food and the culture is very. There are some regions in the south that they even speak some dialects from German.
So in the southeast part, there are huge mountains.
There are, yes, but yes, there are not. I don't. I wouldn't say yes. There are.
Are they like the mountains around here
Yeah,
or
that's what I was gonna say. I don't think they're like the ones here, but I'm not quite sure. So
okay.
yeah. Brazil is also divided by states, and we have 26 states plus the federal district. Um, and I live in São Paulo, which is a state, but is also a city. And many of these states have their own governors too, just like the US, but we don't have different laws for each state like here. It's a Brazilian law. but different rulers that take care of stuff. So here's my state and my city. Um, I'm from São Paulo capital, but I lived a lot at the beach too. So I put a picture of my favorite beach over there, which is Ilha Bela. It's a little island very close to the edge, and it's 3 hours away from the capital, so it's not really far.
And
Uh,
so how large is Sao Paulo?
so São Paulo is the most populous city in Brazil. It's a really, really, really large state and city. Um, the economy in São Paulo, the Brazilian economy generates like 40% only in São Paulo. Like São Paulo is a very um, important and important city for the whole country, for the whole economy. Um, it's funny because some days ago it was São Paulo's birthday, São Paulo, the city's birthday, and the city just turned 467 years old.
Wow. It looks very modern.
Some parts, Brazil is very it's very divided. Like sometimes you're in this really modern space, and you cross the street is very poor and very not developed.
Okay.
So it's very different. But it is there are really modern places. Yes. It's a really big city. So here are more pictures of São Paulo. I tried to put more of like tourist places in São Paulo. The top right, it's a museum. If I'm not mistaken, is the biggest art museum in Brazil, and it's called MASP. Is in the middle of this avenue, the picture in the center, and it's just beautiful. It's modern art, and it's very, very beautiful. I've been there not too long ago. It's really incredible. This street that is in the center picture, it's in the past. My city was a very it was very big on coffee. We used to make a lot of coffee in São Paulo. So that street was a really big street for the people who did the coffee. So we had some mansions in that street. And nowadays they changed those mansions for business. There is one mansion that became a McDonald's. So
Became a McDonald's?
McDonald's is really popular in Brazil, and in my opinion, it's I don't want to say it's better, but it is because we have more stuff. It's not just what is in the menu here. There are different things in the menu, so I think it's really good. We eat a lot at McDonald's in Brazil.
So
Which is
what would be different?
so we have so if you ask for a Big Mac, you're gonna find a Big Mac. But we have other sandwiches too, not just the Big Mac. You know what I mean? There's one I love. It's called CBO, I think. It's onion, chicken, bacon, and onion. And
Okay.
oh, it's so delicious. It's a crispy chicken. It has crispy bacon on top and a lot of onions. It's
And
really
so is it more Brazilian
and
than it is?
maybe, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, on the top to the left, it's a really famous church in central São Paulo. It's like in the big, big city. Um, I love that church. I love it, love it, love it. My dad works in the building next to that church, and he works in the Court of Justice of the state of São Paulo. And both of the buildings, I didn't put a picture of the Court of Justice. I should have put it, but they're gorgeous, and inside is even more prettier. And it's just like that in the middle, right where the statue is. There is a big thing. It's like it's a rock, a big rock that shows where the other states are. So like it points to where the other states are in the country.
Cool.
It's pretty, it's really beautiful.
Really seesaws. The story of Depeche is
Not sure what that was. Go ahead.
On the bottom to the left, there's also another beach in Brazil, which in São Paulo, which I love. I love all the beaches in my state. There are. It's pretty funny. We have the south part and the north part, and everybody debates which one is the best. And it's I think it's really funny that they have this rivalry. I think no.
That's right. Rivalry.
But I love the north. I think the north is just gorgeous. Um, the bottom to the right, there is a really big park in the middle of the city too. Let's say kind of like Central Park that is in the middle of the big city, and it's really big and beautiful. You go there, you only see people exercising, and it's really gorgeous. Um, oh, our culture. So, as I said before, Brazil is very, there are a lot of influences. So, in the Northeast, Brazil has a lot of African influence, a lot. In the North, a lot of native Brazilian and Portuguese and African. In the South, as I said, a lot of European, Netherlands, Germany. So in the South, we have the biggest Oktoberfest of Germany. In the Southeast, Italian, Portuguese, Japanese. There's a big community of Japanese people in São Paulo. Chinese, Spanish, and I didn't put there, but nowadays there are a lot of people from Bolivia in my country, a lot. So I think in the future it's gonna have a lot of influence too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people. Central West is more Austrian people, Germany and Netherlands again. So it's mainly those countries. This is with with no doubt is my favorite topic. I just love talking about food, and I love Brazilian food. So I brought some of my favorites for you guys to see. On the top, there is the cheesy thing. We call that pão de queijo, which it's cheese bread, and is the most delicious thing. I love it. Um, the meat over there is our barbecue. Every time we go to a barbecue, that's how they make meat. There's no hamburgers or hot dogs. It's only the piece of meat in the grill, and then they cut in little pieces and serve for everybody. On the right, there's the um, it's called feijoada. It's a it's a bean stew with a lot of pork sausages, and they put a bunch of parts of the pig, which is really good. Rice and that yellow thing in the back, it's called farofa, which is cassava flour, but it's fried and it's really good. In the back, it's kind of like pico, like um, tomatoes and onions and parsley, but it's not spicy at all. Like Brazilian food, it's not spicy like other South American countries. Um, we eat with oranges too. Oh my god, sorry. We eat with oranges too, and yeah, I don't know how to take my face out of there.
So go back. The the white bread, what is that in the bottom right?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. So that is tapioca, which I think I love eating tapioca like that. And I didn't know, but here people only know tapioca as the pudding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
How can that be?
so the tapioca is a flour, and when you put in a pan, it sticks together like a kind of like a pancake. So we eat it like that.
What
And
is inside it?
inside that one, it's dried meat. Um, I really don't know how to explain. I tried, but it's a meat that they dry in the sun. It's so delicious. It's incredible. It's my favorite
Is
meat.
it beef?
It is beef, yes.
So is it like corned beef?
Maybe, I don't know.
And what is on top of it? Cheese?
Yep, cheese, and that's all. And they put a little thing on top just to decorate it, but we don't usually eat with that.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
you can also eat as a dessert. So you can also put my favorite is with coconut and condensed milk, and it's delicious. Next to that, there's this thing that is in this shape. It's called coxinha. It's a dough with chicken inside, and it's like this size. And in every Brazilian party, they have that. Every Brazilian party you go, they have that little coxinha thing, and it's one of the best things. I love it. It's the dough is fried, deep fried, so it's really good. Well, next to it, there's a pizza. And I think it's funny because in Brazil, we eat really different pizza toppings. And I know that here people do it like they go to a mob or whatever to put whatever they want in the pizza, right? But in Brazil, they are very common just to order like a Domino's, you order and say, hey, I want broccoli pizza. That's my favorite. It's broccoli with garlic on top. And every pizza in Brazil comes with olives on top too, which I think is interesting. Next to it, there's a little can, the green can, and that's a Brazilian soda. I have never tasted anything in the US that tastes like that soda. It's called Guaraná, and it comes from a fruit that is called Guaraná too. And it's a little fruit like this, and it kind of looks like an eye. I should have put the picture of it, but it's red, and then it has a little circle that is white, and a little circle in the middle that is black. So it really looks like an eye, and it tastes really. I don't think people eat the fruit, but we drink the soda made out of the fruit. Also, the bread that is there, it's very, very common in my state. The bread we call French bread. It's kind of like a baguette, but it's not hard. It's a little crunchy, but it's not hard. It's very soft in the middle. And the meat inside, it's called mortadella. I don't know if you guys know, but it's a really good meat. I have no idea what it's made out of, and I don't want to discover, or I'm not eat it anymore. Yeah, no, it's kind of like salami. You never want to know what it is and how it's made, or you won't eat it. Underneath, there's a typical Brazilian plate. That is typical for my city too, which is rice, beans, fried bananas. The green thing, it's collard greens and chicken or beef or whatever you want, and an egg on top. That's that's like everyday lunch in Brazil.
Huh.
Yeah. The bottom one, the one that is in the bracket, that's called pastel. And I can't wait to go to Brazil to eat that, to be honest. It's delicious. We have farmers market on Saturdays next to my house, and they sell that at the farmers market. and it's just a fried dough with anything you want inside. They usually have displayed the options. Um, I usually get with collard greens inside, and it's really good.
And they put the greens inside it.
Yeah, and
Does it
then
have cheese or anything in it?
a lot of cheese.
Yeah, a lot of cheese.
Yeah, but the one I eat with the collard greens is not that common because people don't really like greens, right? It's more common to have chicken and just cheese or the dried meat. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of kinds. Ham.
So on your pizza, do you have cheese?
Yes,
It's broccoli and olives.
yeah, there's cheese too. There's usually a little bit of tomato sauce too. It's just the
Looks,
toppings that are different.
yeah, it looks really good.
I love it. I think even the dough tastes different, and I think it's really good. I found a place in Maryland that sells Brazilian pizza. I was so happy. I felt home.
And where do you live here in the United States? Where is your host family?
So right now I had to move, so I live in Pennsylvania right now.
Okay. But you were living in Warrenton,
I was living in Purcellville.
Percival. Okay, go ahead.
So language, Brazil is the only country in South America that doesn't speak Spanish and speaks Portuguese. So I got here some words in Portuguese, like bom dia, it's good morning in Portuguese, or tudo bem, which is I'm good. Yeah. So this I thought was really, really interesting. I don't know how to take my face out of there. Well, some different customs from Brazil and here, which I noticed and some of my friends noticed. We Brazilians, we love to talk, and everywhere, people that go to Brazil, they always say like we talk to everybody, and we're not ashamed. We're not ashamed, but we're not. Um,
Bashful.
yes, we just want to talk to everybody. And I said we love kisses, but not in a bad way. We just um, every time we're greeting someone, we greet them with kissing in the cheek and hugs, and we're very we like touch. We like touching.
Boy,
Uh,
and I bet that's really hard with COVID.
yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I have kids in the house, so the kids just they love you, they hug you all the time, so I'm I'm okay. um, we in Brazil, it's not common at all. You leave your parents' house for college because, especially in my state, because we have colleges, we don't have colleges dorms or anything like that. So people just live in their houses to go to college, and there's usually colleges around the city.
So is college free? Do you have to pay for it?
Um, we have we have the public system and we have the private system. The public system, you have to take a test, which is kind of like SAT, and but it has more. I think. Well, I'm not sure. I didn't take the SAT, but in Brazil, there's every I forgot the word. Every subject in this test. There's geography, biology, chemistry, everything. Portuguese, English, everything. And it's the grading is from 0 to 10 to 100. No, from 0 to 1,000. And to get to the public college, you have to score the amount that the college asks for the course you want to go to. So, for example, if you want to go to med school, you have to take this test and you have to have 900 points to get into med school for free. And even though it's a little hard, because there's a lot of competition. So yeah, you can go to college for free, but you have to have a lot of points to get in.
Okay.
If you can't get in, just there's the private college that you just pay every month.
And are the private colleges expensive?
So it depends on each course. Um, if you want to do, I'm really interested in the health area, so that's what I know. But for example, for you to do nursing, it would be 3,000 of our money, which is reais, per month. If you want to do med school, it's like 6,000 per month of our money.
Wow.
And 6,000 is the cheapest med school. So it's very expensive. Yeah,
Okay.
not cheap. In Brazil, we don't tip, and sometimes it's even offensive. Like the person is gonna think you're trying to hit on them, or maybe
Bribe them.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
We have this an afternoon snack, and it's serious. It's even like in offices, they have this break for people to go and eat during the afternoon.
Boy, I'm going to suggest that the college does that. How long does the break last?
It's like 30 minutes usually.
I think that's a great idea.
Um, when we sing happy birthday in Portuguese, we usually clap all the time. So it's funny every time a Brazilian goes through an American party and everybody starts singing, the Brazilian starts clapping and then realizes it's not how it goes. Brazil is one of the only countries that eat avocado as dessert. So we eat avocado with milk and sugar, and we have avocado ice cream. I personally hate it, but
Oh, yes, that does not sound appetizing.
my family eats a lot. It's kind of like a smoothie. They just put the milk and the sugar. I, yeah, I don't think it's, but I don't think it's good. Um, in Brazil, we value a lot lunchtime, a lot. Like we sit down to eat with our whole family. Some people even get out of their work to go to eat with their family for lunch. It's a very big thing in Brazil. And we don't eat a sandwich or a fast food. We like to eat like big meals, or like the one I showed. Um, I
And
showed
so, how much time would you take for lunch?
1 to 2 hours.
Wow, I'm going to suggest that for the college too.
Yeah, it's really good. And the last one, which is even better, they have
Yeah,
30 days of vacation per year.
everybody gets 30 days of vacation.
Yes.
Do you take it all at one time?
Some people do, some people don't. My dad, he worked a lot. So you can also sell if you don't want to take vacation, you can sell your vacation to other people.
I'm definitely going to suggest this to the president of the college.
It's pretty incredible.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Very interesting.
So Brazil, everybody thinks about Brazil when they think of soccer, right? We do love soccer, yes. I even put here a picture of soccer in the street, which is very, very common. Like you go to a neighborhood and you see kids just playing soccer on the street. They just get their flip-flops and put one here, one there, and they make the goal. That's how they play in the street. But there are many other sports that are very common in Brazil, like volleyball, swimming, judo. I don't know. Judo is a martial art. There is this other one that is under the volleyball. It's called capoeira. It's a really nice sport that is a mixture of a sport and a dance. So they're kind of fighting, but not, they don't touch each other because they're dancing too. So it's pretty interesting. They make a lot of music while dancing. And I heard is a very African culture influence, that sport. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. um, Under the word sports, I put a picture of this sport that is very common in Brazil, which is we call it futevôlei, which it's volleyball but with your feet. Yeah, and people usually play at the beach, so it's very common.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Tennis is also really, really common in Brazil. I've been to some tennis tournaments and it was really fun. It's pretty cool and very popular. Music in Brazil, it's insane. We have so many kinds of music, just like here. We have our country music, we have our rap, we have our pop music, and we also hear American pop and other things. I got here um forgot the name. Well, saying how many which ones are the most popular um kinds of music in Brazil. The first one is country music, and then there's this called funk, which um which is a very it's a very explicit music. It has a lot of bad words and a lot of, it's very explicit. And but is the rhythm, it's amazing. It's so fun to dance to that even old people, they forget about the words that they're saying just because of the beat, because it's very, very fun. um, and then American pop is very common in Brazil, Brazilian pop, and then American rap and Brazilian rap. There are many kinds. So I put some pictures of like the most popular people in Brazil. We have some traditional music in the end, which is called forró, and they're playing the, I don't know the name of that
Accordion.
accordion. And next to it, there's the girl dancing samba, which is very common during this time of the year in Brazil. So yeah, music, it's pretty big in Brazil. Brazil, it's a really diverse country, as I said before. Um, we have in all of our country, we have a lot of different nature places. Just it's just like here that you have the desert, but you also have the other more wet parts. I put on top to the right, there's the rainforest. Under it's more the desert, Caatinga, and under there's the Atlantic forest. Next to it, there's the I think that is the Pampa. I'm pretty sure it's the Pampa. And then in the middle, there's the Pantanal, and on top is this Cerrado. I don't know how to translate that to English, but they're very different, and each one of them from one part of Brazil. But it's huge. In Brazil, there's just so much, and I wish I knew more. I knew more about it to say, but the fauna and flora in Brazil is just incredible.
Very interesting.
Well, the racial. Oh, I got it now. The racial diversity in Brazil is also big because of how Brazil was colonized. So when Portugal colonized Brazil, they brought other European people, and the European people brought a bunch of African people to be their slaves. And so that started growing. And also, we have native Brazilians that they kind of went away because of the Portuguese people. but Brazil has so many different people. Um, I think it's so funny because I tell so I have some friends that are they are all different, and people look at us and they're like, "Oh, you don't look Brazilian," but there's no way of looking Brazilian because we have a little bit of everything, and I think it's awesome.
That's great. It's great that your country can embrace that too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of racism as any other country,
Yes.
but yeah, it's very diverse. It's very diverse. Why is it not going? Oh, here. So I separated this video of this guy. His name is Chin. He is American, but he loves Brazil. Excuse me? No, I didn't hear what you said.
I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
Um, let me play his video. He loves Brazil and he's been there so many times.
What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about a few facts that you might not have known about Brazil. Okay, if you're Brazilian, I hope you know these facts. So this video is for people who are interested in learning a little bit more about Brazil. So share it with one of your friends if you are a Brazilian. For a lot of people, these facts might be kind of obvious, but I was surprised to learn how little people generally know about Brazil. In order to bridge this gap, I will be making a series of videos teaching about Brazil in English. I've already made a few videos like this. That playlist is in the description. Okay, so now for the fun facts about Brazil. First off, they speak Portuguese. Yes, Portuguese. This seems pretty obvious, but I was surprised to learn that a lot of people don't know that. I guess this confusion comes from the fact that most countries in Latin America speak Spanish, but in fact, in Brazil, they speak Portuguese. It is the biggest Portuguese-speaking country in the world, so they don't speak Spanish or Brazilian. Brazilian is not a language, but Brazilian Portuguese is quite different from European Portuguese and also African Portuguese. Mozambique, Cape Verde, East Timor, Angola are a few other countries that speak Portuguese, and of course, Portugal. Speaking of Portugal, they were founded by the Portuguese. I assume that you made that connection, but maybe an interesting fact that you didn't know, the Portuguese relocated their court to Rio de Janeiro during the Napoleonic Wars. So it was the seat of Portuguese power. And eventually Brazil became independent from the Portuguese, not through a revolutionary war, but from the fact that the Prince of Portugal, Dom Pedro, did not want to go back to Portugal, and he decided to declare Brazil independent from Portugal. That's another story. I'll teach another day. There's a lot of fun history to teach. How did Brazil get its name? It got its name from a tree, or specifically a type of wood called Brazil wood, pau Brasil. This wood was the first product of value that the Europeans found to extract. It wouldn't be the last. They extracted this to make expensive amber dyes in Europe, and that's how the country got its name, from the first most valuable product, and that was Brazil wood. This tree has been almost deforested into extinction, but you can find it in certain botanical gardens, especially in the botanical garden in Rio de Janeiro. Brazil is the 5th biggest country in the world in terms of population, with around 210 million people, just behind Indonesia and just ahead of Pakistan. So it's a very big country, and that's why you can find Brazilians everywhere. It's also a very large country geographically. The capital of the country is Brasilia, not Rio or Sao Paulo, as some people often think. In fact, Rio was at one time the capital. It was actually the capital for 197 years. And there was another capital before that, a colonial capital in Salvador in the state of Bahia. The capital, Brasilia, was built in 1956 under then President Juscelino Kubitschek and designed by famous architect Oscar Niemeyer. It only took 41 months to build, which is pretty impressive for the city. It's a very interesting city to visit, very different from any other city I've visited. You can check out a vlog I made visiting the city here.
That city is pretty funny because they built in the shape of an airplane. So when you go to that city, you want to tell someone you're going to a bar somewhere, you say, "Oh, I'm going to the east wing of the city." I think it's really interesting. It's a pretty cool place.
Brazil is the world's largest coffee producer. It's also the world's largest soybean producer. In fact, soybean is its biggest export. Brazil is home to the Amazon, yes. Although the majority of Brazil's population does not live in the Amazon, the majority of Brazil's population lives in the southeast, in cities such as Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo in the state of Minas Gerais. So in fact, most Brazilians have not even visited the Amazon, but that does not mean that people don't live there. In fact, there are cities there, including Manaus, which is a city that has over 2 million people, a rich tradition, and at one point was one of the world's richest cities during a rubber boom. And you can see some of the effects of that boom in such buildings as the Amazon Theater right here. The people of Brazil are a mix between three cultures, the European, African, and indigenous. There also have been a few waves of immigrants, especially Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, and German. But a lot of people don't know that Brazil is home to over 2 million people of Japanese descent, making it the largest population outside Japan. To find out more about the Brazilian people, I made a video called You Don't Look Brazilian. The link is in the description. The Brazilian national dish is called feijoada. It is a meat and beans stew with a lot of kind of meats that you wouldn't normally eat alone, but when they're stewed together, they make a delicious dish. But Brazilians do not eat this every day, maybe once a week, but they will eat rice and beans every day. That is the staple of lunch. Lunch is the biggest meal, and every day people eat rice and beans with some kind of meat, unless they're vegetarian. And the national drink is a caipirinha, which is made from a Brazilian sugarcane liquor called cachaça. The most traditional caipirinha is made from cachaça and then kind of lemon squeezed like this, and ice, and a lot of sugar, but it's very good. And finally, Brazil is the only country to have 5 World Cup championships. A few other teams have 4, but Brazil is the only country to have 5 championships, but they haven't won in a while. They haven't won since, I think it was 2002 in Japan, or was it, or Korea, Japan, I forget where it was. But so, you know, if they don't win again soon, other teams are catching up. So come on, Neymar, get it done. 3 years. Okay, those were a few fun facts about Brazil. I can make many more videos in this style if you.
Yeah, so this is it.
Wonderful presentation. It was great, Isabella. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's really great. I want to go there.